met de gewone tactieken. Weet ik eens. Maar met de gewone tactieken. Het hoeft niet te snel te zijn. Gewoon goede doorwerken. Was een stok of een best stok? Ja.
I was training on a normal Saturday morning training, and we were still in the warming up. I was working with one of the other instructors, and we were doing some slow fighting, and his leg just brushed against my right knee, and I heard a snap.
Verder kan je niet. Kun je niet forceren.
That's it. Amnon was here, and my friend Joe Ambrosino from the UK was here as well. So Joe and I continued training the way we usually train, and that included everything that we normally do, sparring, and several times during the training the knee sort of buckled. But again, it was, you know, it was painful and it was swollen, and I should have stopped, but I didn't, and continued to train on it. I had gone to Belgium also to train one more time with Amnon before he left, and I did a front kick, and the right foot slid on the mats a little bit, and that was it. I just fell to the ground and couldn't move the leg, and that was the finishing of the ACL tendon. So it had been torn, and then it basically exploded when I did that kick.
Go back to the same principle of motion. You want to get to the left. This way, otherwise it's turning that way. It's coming from the front. So close hand up, forehand down, step in, op dezelfde kant waar jij wil bewegen. Dat is 105 steps. Naar voren, forward foot, step in.
So I can remember just sitting with Kirsten on the side of the bed and just crying and saying, how did I get myself into this? And you know, why didn't I stop? And I shouldn't have kept going. But you know, I've always said when I've had things where I've had to deal with injuries or whatever, and people say, well, why didn't you stop? And I always just sort of think to myself, well, if I stopped every time that I, you know, was hurt or didn't feel like training or whatever, then I would never have gotten very far in Krav Maga or other things that I've done. But this one was a little different, yeah, that's for sure. The physical therapist, Guido, we made an appointment with him immediately when Dr. Hu said that that would be a good match. So we contacted him. Even outside of his office hours, he took the time immediately to speak to me and to Kirsten, outlining the options, what it would look like, what would happen, how long it would take to come back on average. And because of that appointment, yeah, we decided to go with it. So that meant that they were going to take a piece out of the hamstring and use it to fix the ruptured ACL.
Loop maar, ik film je. Come on, Speedy.
I wondered if it would ever be as good as it was, or would I have to, you know, now focus only on teaching and not really training anymore, which is not an easy option for me to swallow. So yes, I was worried. At the beginning of the physical therapy, all I could do was try and fire the muscles on that side of the leg, and really small, frustrating little things that I could do. And I had to promise to him that I would follow his advice. If he wrote down that I had to do this on a day, then I did, no matter what the circumstances. And then we just built up what I could do from there. We worked through April, May, June. Was also very difficult because I lost my father in June.
So I just got down. Been dragging since a little before 2 o'clock. And I get on the radio with my father and told him I'd missed him. So Dad's coming up to him now. He just watched me dragging down the road. And 2 years ago, he was here with 1-2-28. So, great job from Mr. James Leavitt, 2013 buck.
So, starting in May, I normally have weekly contact with my parents, but the contact became more frequent because my father was going in and out of the hospital. We were unsure, everyone was unsure about how serious it was. And my father said, maybe it's not such a bad idea if you come back. Thursday we heard the news that things were terminal, and we took him home, and by Monday afternoon he had passed away. And about 3.5 months after I started the physical therapy, we were in Austria. I was walking in the mountains, I was mountain biking, and basically I was done. It's one of the fastest ACL recoveries that they've seen in Nijmegen, what I was told. You know, luckily it wasn't 9 months or a year or whatever. I was functioning pretty much after about 4 months, I think, more or less. So we tried to keep it as much business as usual as possible. The club noticed very little of the injury. I don't think that we had to cancel any lessons, thanks to the instructors and the people who help us. The outside world and the club noticed very little from it. After the summer vacation, I was cleared by the physical therapist to continue training with a clear goal of trying to get my Expert 4 grade with Amnon Darsa, and anyone who's ever prepared for an exam with Amnon knows what it's going to be like.
And this will do the first half day, 3-4 hours, then lunch break, and then when we come back we start to work technical. Technical meaning take the stupid papers, curriculum, go one by one and go line by line, understand what we have to do, how we have to do it, and make it the best.
Dan propt de mond open van iemand en squirt de gel in. Komt goed.
He has to pop.
Has to pop with the tongue.
No, he doesn't have to pop.
Like that, you mean?
Of course you guys have to argue on how you're going to open the bottle.
No, you have to take the knife actually.
I definitely had doubts whether I would be able to be prepared for an exam, and one part of me maybe even thought, well, you know, maybe it's enough. You don't have to do it. You know, it's good, leave it at this. You know, you've had the injury. Why force yourself to come back and prepare for an exam like that? And, you know, there are easier ways to deal with it. But I didn't, so I just worked. I'm proud of how fast I came back from it. I'm proud of myself for listening to Guido and doing everything that he told me to do, and being able to come back from it in 3.5 months. Yes, that part, sure.